I buy faulty electronic items on eBay, attempt to fix them and sell them on for a profit. We are on an 8-episode win streak. Our total profit for this series is £415.18. The next target, which I've not hit this series, is 10 wins in a row, so I need another 3. Are we going to aim towards that 8 today, or will it go back down to a complete and utter reset? Welcome your faces back to episode number 81 of the series Profit or Loss. This is probably the most nervous I've been when doing this series because I don't want to lose now. Let's look at today's item. Oh my goodness. Well, it's a big old box, that's for sure. It feels very wobbly inside. It is in fact a PlayStation 5. We also have the power cord and the stand, which is handy. I actually paid a total of £170 for this console. Gloves are looking rather dirty today, hey? What are you talking about, Joey? They are dirty every day. The listing on eBay simply states, does not turn on selling as parts or for someone to repair. There's 2 pictures. This one, which contains a picture of the actual PS5 and the box, and this one, which contains a picture of the PS5 in the box. So I don't have any indication if this has been opened or not before. I just know that £170 is actually an okay price to pick up a faulty PlayStation 5, in my opinion, of course. First things first, let's see if we've got a warranty sticker intact. Apparently it doesn't turn on, so we know what the fault is. Warranty sticker! Yo, let's go. Sweet, right here we have the warranty. Doesn't look like it's been touched at all. This sticker hasn't been lifted up. Oh, this is gorgeous. Okay, our chance of repair goes up significantly. Let's see if what they were saying is true. It doesn't power on. There is, however, oh, okay. So this is actually, you put a Phillips screwdriver down here and you're actually able to get the disc out by spinning it. So that's how you do that manually, which is why that's like that, because they've taken the disc out of this console. Right, 3, 2, 1. Nothing. Stone cold. Eject button. Nothing. Okay, interesting. I don't think I've had a no power PS5 in actually quite a while, so I'm really looking forward to this. Judging by the placement of the sticker here, it's either a 010 or a 020 board, which means that the model should be a 101 or a 111. It's a 1016A, so this is as old as they get, I think. Release date on these was what? 2020 or 2019, I think? Yeah, it was 2020. I'm expecting quite a bit of dust inside this console, if I'm honest with you. Just as I thought, it's very dusty in here, so I will need to give it a nice clean as well. But something tells me that's going to be the least of our problems. But dust bunny galore. Here is the PCB in all its glory. Speaking of PCBs, a huge shout out to today's sponsor, PCB Way. PCB Way is the solution for all your PCB needs. Imagine this scenario. You're in dire need of a reliable service to print some custom circuit boards. Those boards need to be great quality, have fast shipping and be at a very good price. PCB Way have you sorted. Simply start your instant quote and customize your PCB to how you want it. Anything from thickness to solder mask color. And then in a few simple steps, you'll be ready to check out. PCB Way also offers services such as CNC machining, 3D printing, injection molding, and sheet metal fabrication. Why not check out the gift store where you can buy preheaters, soldering irons, multimeters, and much, much more. Head on over to PCBWay.com to get started. Rightio Magnifico. Let's see what sort of voltages we have with this PS5. Do we have the 12 volt? I really hope so, because I want this to be an interesting fix. And if we don't have the 12 volt, it's going to be the power supply. Black probe on ground. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, but looks like we have 12 Vs coming in. Yes. Okay. So it's probably not going to be the power supply. Don't know why I put my probes down. Let's check our other rails as well. So we should have the 5 just here. Oh, do we not have our 5? No, we have a 5V short. And which would mean that we don't get our 3.3. Nope. Which means that we're not going to get any of our other voltages. So we have a 5 volt short somewhere. Now, let's take out that. Now what we need to do is actually remove the PCB from the chassis. Now this board can be a pain to get out because it's the earliest revision. They actually have some additional, it's not called thermal paste. I'm going to say like thermal putty or something like that, which is underneath, which makes it a little bit of a pain. Nonetheless, should be used to it by now in terms of the actual pressure. And any second now. There we go. Sometimes it's on the board, sometimes on the chassis. I'm just going to leave it exactly where it is. The more you mess with it, the hotter it gets, the harder it is to put back. Let's move the chassis over to the side for the time being. Again, it's going to need a clean at some point, but our main focus at the moment is this board. So I'm going to first clean up this liquid metal just by using some IPA and a cotton swab. And you just push all of that liquid metal into the center of the die. And then get our tube of liquid metal Just suck it up and wipe away the excess. Okay, over to the scope. Now I've got the meter in continuity mode, and I'm going to focus on this area to start with, because I'm pretty sure, I remember seeing on a video, we've got the 12 volt rail here, which is our main rail, and then that actually gets converted from a 12 to a 5 with this IC right here, and this whole rail up here, I believe, is 5 volts. Could be wrong, but meter in continuity mode. Let's see if we've got a short here. Yeah, so we have our short here. And is it looking like a 0 ohm? Because it's fluctuating all over the place at the moment. But I'm going to say it's a short to ground. Yeah, it looks it. It looks it. And it could be anything. It could be this chip here that's shorted out. It's most likely going to be a cap though, isn't it? It could also be the South Bridge. It could be the SSD controller IC. I'm pretty sure the Wi-Fi also runs off that 5 volts initially, but again, could be wrong. So for the sake of that, I'm just going to quickly check some of these caps and see what we get. Maybe this is the 3.3 instead of the 5. I mean, those ohms don't look right. We've got 700 there and then 300 on the others. I'm pretty sure it should be around about 200 and then open line, which would indicate more than, I think, 1k ohms. Yeah, 357. Okay. I think what we're going to do is quite simply just inject onto the power rail that has a short, which is the 5 volt line here. Let's do that then. So I'm going to start with about 0.7 volts right here. By the way, just also to confirm, I've checked a lot of the fuses, and a lot of these carry 5 volts. So I believe this one, F7003, is a 5 volt fuse, as well as F7502, and they're all shorted. So I could just remove those fuses and try and get to the short that way, but I think this is going to be quicker, if I'm honest. Injecting now, I get a 2 amp draw, which should be enough to tell us exactly what's getting hot. Kind of a spoiler, I guess. This doesn't always work. It could show us something that's getting hot and indicating a problem, but it might not be that specific component. So just taking out the thermal camera. Ooh, that was almost a very expensive mistake with our 0.7 volts. Can we see what's getting hot? Ready? Injecting now. Anything lighting up? Doesn't seem like it, hey? 2 amps from what I can see. Maybe some little areas getting hot. Let me remove it. Might be around here. Let's try it again. Yeah, I think I see it. I think I see it. I've now zoomed into the area that I think is getting hot, so I inject again. Was I wrong? I was wrong. I thought it was up here, which is around this little place, but it is getting a little bit warm. You can see right in the dead center of the screen now, but I don't think that's enough to cause any issues. So I might need to actually flip the board here. What about that? Oh, what's that? No, it's ground. Right, I'm going to need to flip the board. Okay, so this is on the back of the board, or front, depending on what way you're looking at it. And we're injecting. Do we get anything? No, it doesn't look like it, hey? Just scanning over the board again. It, whilst injecting, doesn't look like anything's getting warm. Was my hand just covering it where I was injecting? No, I believe that's the fuse itself just getting warm. I'm injecting on a 5 volt rail here on the back where we have the fuse. Okay, we like these ones. So again, continuity mode, and this is right next to that big coil you saw me working on earlier. And this fuse here is going to be shorted. Yes, that's short to ground. So I'm thinking, let's remove this little fuse first. And that's going to be our first isolation point, if you will. So it is indeed going to be 480 degrees Celsius airflow speed. Oh, dropping tweezers, 99%. Just to remove this little fuse. Just slide it over. Just leave it there on that pad, it'll be fine. Now, what side is our short on? Is our short on this side? Which I believe goes to the rest of the board. No, it's not. Okay, fine. So it's this side. Yeah, so I'll short that side. I'm pretty sure, actually, that this is the rest of the board, essentially. I'm just measuring around the HDMI IC. And we get 80 ohms, but I think these are meant to be around about 200 or so. So it could just be that the board is still relatively hot, which is causing that dip in resistance. And here we have this fuse again. And this is still shorted, as well as, I believe, this F7502 is still going to be shorted as well then. Is that right? Yeah, it is. Okay. I'm still in a position where everywhere has shorts, so again, we are just going to keep removing these fuses to see if we can isolate our situation at hand. Rotating that heat, because we don't want the heat to be stagnant, because that's when you can start warping the board, because believe it or not, 480 degrees Celsius is rather hot. And then once you've got enough heat into the board, that's when you can zone in. So is our short gone or still there? Short gone. Okay, so it's on this side. So this rail is clear, this chip seems to be alright. You are not guilty, my friend. Now, what about you, F7502? Are you the culprit? Because, assuming you're still shorted, yes, you are. I could also use voltage injection right now and see if anything gets hot now, because we might have removed another key link from the heat source. So it might reveal something that actually gets hot now. That could also be a waste of time. So I'm just going to see if we can track down our short as such, rather than keep injecting all the time. Might be a case that we remove all our fuses and we inject and we still can't see what's going on. There we go. Short be gone or short stay strong. Gone from there, which means it's there. And does that mean that our F7003 is still shorted? It does. Okay, so let's remove this one. Also a lot easier to work when there's heat in the board. There we go. Is this the path right here that we've been having our issue on? Could also just be the straight south bridge. This is the RT5126 I see. Here we go. No short. So it's on this one. Okay. So that's also, you've proven yourself innocent as well. However, I know that's just climbing in ohms. Again, I think the board might be warm still. Is warm still, should I say. So we don't have any shorts around this, I see. Okay, so not guilty. Now, really random thing as well. I have also checked inside the USB ports, and there's no mangledness. If that's a word, definitely isn't. Because if some of the pins were shorted, the USB ports are 5 volts, but the HDMI port is exactly the same as its Ethernet. The good news is that I still have that short somewhere. So I think it was, which one was it? This one that you can't see. Hold on. It was this pad here. So you see, this is ground, and this, is now climbing in ohms. So that, okay, so our short isn't there. All right. I do just want to take this opportunity as well to confirm that there is no cracks on the die of this PS5 to indicate that it has been dropped. And I have now definitely found where we still have our short, which is up here. Now, this is the area where I saw something getting hot and I was like, but it's not hot enough. I could have been wrong or just not been injecting enough because look, this is shorted, as is this one. I'm going to assume they're in parallel. And these are the controllers, I believe, for the USB ports themselves, which eventually then feed into the APU on these long ones here. But I can confirm they're definitely shorted to ground. So what I'm going to do is inject here now, same, about 0.7 volts, and just see what the situation is. So I've actually zoomed in right off the bat here. Those are the two ICs that I was talking about. Now I'm going to inject here, 1 volt. Okay, that cap is pretty hot, but that could just be where I'm injecting. Let me try the other one. Does that do the same? Oh no, this one lights up. So it's this cap. If I increase that to 1 volt, how hot does it get? Yeah, 42, 43, 45 degrees. I think we have found our culprit. Let's see, shall we? A little bit of IPA just here. I don't know if 45 degrees is going to be hot enough, but let's find out. It's enough. You can see that it's evaporating. Yeah, we can see that that is indeed going away. So this cap is guilty. We have found you. You are arrested. Now, I'm also always pulling from donor boards. Today is different. I feel like doing something a little bit different today. So I'm actually going to pull this cap and see what the value is. And then we're going to replace it straight from a new book that we have, rather than taking it from a donor. Now, I obviously have lots of donors, but I have more caps in that strip in the book than what I do donors. So it just makes sense, I think. The story of these would actually tell me that that's done its job. This little cap here has done its job. Maybe a few should have gone instead of the cap, but I think somebody plugged something into the USB port that they shouldn't have, and that's what blew it. Or it could be like a lightning strike or something, you know? Right, I think this is how we measure capacitance. So here and here, what value do we get on the good cap? 17 microfarad seems a little bit precise, so I'm going to say 20. Maybe let this cool down a bit and then measure again, but I think it's going to be 20 microfarad. Assuming that's what UF means. Yeah, 18.79. Could be even a little bit higher, but I think 20 microfarad with a 10% tolerance or whatever will be absolutely fine. Well, I think I've been scammed. Not scammed, I've just bought the wrong thing. This is the size cap that I need, but the book only goes up to 2.2 microfarad. Assuming that is what the UF stands for. We've got nanofarad, but I don't know what's meant to be higher. Assuming that the microfarad at the back of the book is meaning that the microfarad is superior, because the book starts at 0.5 picofarad. And I think this confirms my logic, although I could, again, be completely wrong. I've simply put 1 microfarad to nanofarad, and it says here that one of them is 1,000 nanofarad, which is then 1,000,000 picofarad, I think. So I am just going to have to use a donor cap, I think, and order some bigger caps. Oh, so the reason why, by the way, I was just looking on AliExpress. I couldn't find anything that goes past 2.2 microfarad. This is because this is an 0803, not an 0603. Sorry, 0805. This is an 0805, not an 0603. My book only goes up to 0603. I didn't buy any more. That would explain it. Right, let's swap out this cap and put a bunch of things back. Just for ultimate confirmation. Either side. There we go. There's a short. See you later. Draw up that little cap home. Welcome to your new abode. A little bit of flux on both of these. Just a tiny bit. Solder will be okay. Lower the airspeed to about 50%. And apply that heat. And we should see it dance into place. Ready? There it goes. Perfect. Same for this one. Wait for that solder to wet on both sides. There it is. Again, checking every single step of the way. Short gone? Yeah, short gone. On both sides, no beep. That's ground. That's ground. No beep. Took us a while, but we got there. And now a quick montage of me putting these fuses back. Slightly annoying this area because this does like to soak up a lot of heat. So it takes a little bit more over here. There we go. All back like we had at the start. Do we have a short on our main 5-volt rail? No, we don't. Look at that. Over 1,000 ohms. Nice. Now, I give it a quick clean, and then comes the nerve-wracking part. I'm not going to show you the cleaning process because I don't think you really need to see it. I have done a cleaning video up here with the PS5. Next thing you're going to see is me testing, and hopefully everything's all right. Right then, a big 3, 2, 1. We get the light, goes to a white light, and it is working absolutely as it should. I have fully tested it already. I've even tested it with a game disc, which is why you can see God of War here has that little copy pause box down there. So we have yet again saved another PlayStation 5 from the bin. And you know what that means? We have indeed made it 8 episodes in a row where Sally is going to be happy. Selling consoles at the moment on eBay has been probably at an all-time low in terms of pricing. However, a profit is a profit. Let's go and see what Sally says. Sally, oh Sally, give me some news. So £170 was the cost for the PS5. Parts was nothing because we used a cap that we took from a donor. Sell price, again, not going to be great. £230 I think I'll be able to get for this PS5 Disc Edition console. So we type in 230. What is our profit today? £39.30. 39.30, nice to be in the green once more. 8 on the bounce as we can see. Total profit of the series now sat at £454.48. As always, a huge thank you for watching. I'll leave a playlist to this series up here where you can watch from the very beginning. Have a great rest of your week / weekend / whatever it is for you. And in the next episode, can we make it 9 in a row? I'll see you in the next one. Peace.